You're tuned in to the Restaurant Rockstars podcast. Powerful ideas to rock your restaurant. Here's your host, Roger Bodwin.
Hey, welcome back to the Restaurant Rockstars podcast. It's Roger here. I'm going to ask you a question. Is the service in your restaurant paramount? After more than 20 years in the restaurant business, I'm really biased about service because exemplary service built my business. It was a true competitive advantage that allowed me to dominate my competition for over 2 decades. I frequently talk about my dining experiences around the country. I eat out all the time, and to be perfectly honest, I'm often disappointed. Being a restaurateur, it's common to critique other competitors or other restaurants we visit. This is often a good thing, as we can see a fresh perspective that we might be missing in our own restaurants. It gives us a benchmark, even new ideas we can implement to improve. When I'm disappointed, it's rarely about the food. Most often, it's the service that's lacking. It's a real pain point of mine to be so passionate about this business and to see so many operators obviously neglecting the all-important staff training. Training, in my opinion, is an absolute necessity, and it should take place in every restaurant every single day. These owners and managers put so much focus into the food and ambiance, but are taking the service component for granted. It's almost as if these operators feel that it's enough that they hire someone to approach the table, take orders, and deliver the food. But in my book, this is not enough. It's just the beginning. Here's an example. This past week, I ate out here in Sun Valley 2 nights in a row, a Thursday and a Friday, 2 completely different concepts with 2 different approaches to service. The first restaurant is an institution, over 50 years old, where Ernest Hemingway, the famous author, actually used to hold court. The proprietor is iconic to the community and still greets his many regulars nightly with a warm handshake and a kind word. I dined with 4 friends, and walking in, the ambiance immediately strikes you as warm and inviting. Rustic heavy beams, dark woods, twinkling white lights, fine starched linens, and comfortable seating. You get the picture. The cuisine is fine French, the wine list extensive and well selected, and the price is high as one would expect. I was expecting fine service to go with a fine meal. Our waiter approached the table, did not introduce himself by name, and simply said, "Hello." The host of our group asked for a wine suggestion, a nice Burgundy. This should have been simple, as there were many Burgundies on the list. I'm sure this restaurant sells Burgundy all the time, and the owner is actually from this region of France. This server opted to go ask the owner for his choice. I found this a telling indicator of the service to come. The server was well groomed, wearing the traditional black apron and white shirt, but that was the extent of his service. As the meal proceeded, order taking was the rule of the day. "Ready to order" were his first words after bringing the wine. The menu was extensive, but no suggestions were made. What was most popular? What was the specialty of the house? What were his suggestions? I also believe that the service staff should take diners on what I call the magical journey. It's a special night out after all, and guests want to know everything that's special, everything they will enjoy. I would expect that in this caliber of restaurant. The service team should ask if this is a first visit, and if so, describe the history of the place, what's unique about it, and then bring the experience to life through the food, ambiance, and above all, the service. I felt as though we were one of the herd, or just the next table, not important guests. He disappeared for a lengthy absence, but eventually popped back over to ask if we needed anything. The food was very nice, of course, but the best part of the service was actually the fact that the water girl kept our glasses filled every 10 minutes or so, and the owners shook our hands and thanked us on the way out. The price per person, $120, including tip. Again, per person for a table of 5. Nice bill. Now the next night, my wife, 3 kids, and I dined in a home-style Italian restaurant in our town that we had not been to before. Our children's school friends' parents own and operate this place. The owner courteously took our reservation over the phone and then personally greeted us at the door and seated us at our table. He thanked us for coming in and then introduced us to our server, who was equally personable and eager to please. This server answered our questions, made a recommendation or two, and told us that our meals came with unlimited house salad and hot bread from the oven. Really nice touch. The decor was nothing fancy, but certainly comfortable with the requisite photos of the Tuscan hills on the walls, candles, and Chianti bottles. Service here was attentive but never obtrusive. As soon as we had finished our starters, we were brought a fresh bowl of salad and basket of bread, which we thoroughly enjoyed. Our entrees were equally delicious, and this server kept our wine glasses full, which was also appreciated. At the end of the meal with kids, we of course had to order dessert, and the many choices were appealing and difficult to decide on. Our server helped us make the decision, which was fantastic and to die for: an Oreo and mocha ice cream pie with fudge crust, whipped cream, and chocolate drizzle. All in all, a very enjoyable experience. The price? $108 total for a family of 5. So of course it's not about the price. I expect to receive the same quality of service whether dining in a Denny's or a 5-star restaurant. The basic principles are the same. It's all about hiring the best people with a true desire to serve the public and then developing them, training them, recognizing and rewarding them to build your business. That's what I call Paramount service. That's the Restaurant Rockstars podcast for today. If you like what you're hearing, please leave us a review on iTunes. And if you really want to see if your restaurant is dialed in from a service standpoint, a training standpoint, financial aspect, efficiencies, or marketing, why not go to restaurantrockstarsacademy.com and take my free restaurant assessment. It'll give you a lot of food for thought on your operation and whether it's paramount. Thanks for listening, and I'll see you next time.
Thanks for listening to the Restaurant Rockstars podcast. For lots of great resources, head over to restaurantrockstars.com. And while you're there, download a copy of the book, Rock Your Restaurant. It's a game changer. See you next time.